as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge, no hitting is free for the play. Tap it right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every day. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. Know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show. I'm your host, Coco. I'm sorry, where we have conversations about topics that affect the community's personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. I'm your host, Coco. Joining me today, my co-host for tonight, is the lovely, the creative, one of Baltimore's best artists, the Jude.
Hey y'all. I was choking.
Okay.
See me choking.
We ain't even gonna talk about choking. Not after what I heard today and what we just talked about.
That is true. That is true.
I'm sorry. So I'm
Hey
gonna
y'all.
apologize up front. I'm still getting over a cold for some reason. So if I
Me
call a
too.
little congested, I apologize. But anyway, Basso is not here tonight, so we're just gonna keep him in prayer. Well, we're gonna keep it moving, and we do apologize for last week. We missed it, but
Hey
he
Bosco,
was
you
under
feel
the
better?
weather. Basco was under the weather, so yeah, that's what that was. But how are you?
I'm having a good day. Chilling. How about you? How's your day? Gotta tell the truth.
It
Tell the truth.
was a mess. It was a mess. No, I'm lying. It wasn't a mess. It was a day. It was busy. Well, let's just go into so first of all, I know I missed last week, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
So what I will say is this, like
Mental health be mental health is sometimes.
all the time. And then when you're in a profession like what we do every day, it can be a lot. It can be a lot. And then sometimes it's hard to be like, don't take work home. Don't do this. Don't do that. And then you'd be like, you still find if you have a heart, if you have like empathy, you still
Yeah.
think of ways like, what can I do? How can I help this person? Or what interventions can we like do? So I find myself doing that sometimes. But then also, like I said, life be life. But other than that, other than being sick, my mental health is good. Um, family stuff, but it's good, it's good. I can't complain. What about you?
My mental health is mental health and it's fine. I've been chilling for real. I've been thinking, I don't know. I might and I guess for the rest of the year, I just been trying to push forward with positivity, um, achieve my goals one by one. If I could achieve two at a time, and I do that too, but staying focused and not letting too much, get me off focus. So I've been kind of alright for real. I had my days, where life and people and the world going there is driving. I hate driving. I wish I could afford a driver. Um,
Oh
but
my God.
yeah.
Speaking of, I still, okay, funny story. Well, it's not funny, but I'm going to just say funny story. I think I told you. I'm going to just share because I thought it was cute. I deal with PTSD from the accident, right? So when I'm in the car, I'm
I be laugh.
like my butt be squeezed. Like it don't matter. At night. It's like
Mhm.
worse. My anxiety is like to the roof. And for the most part, I try to deal with it, but certain times it's worse than others. And like at night, It's real bad. So one particular night, I'm in the car, my anxiety is like on 1,000. I lie to you not, to the point. You know how like when somebody hit the brakes, they might be like, "Oh shit!" Like, and you put your hand over your passenger
Yeah,
chest.
right.
No,
You
I'm
driving.
I'm in the passenger seat, so they driving, and I go, "Oh man, wait, wait." So they like, "What are you doing?" So they like, "Yo," they literally doing like not even 50 on the highway, right? So, and I'm still panicking. So they like, you know, I gotta go. Hey J Bear, they like, I gotta go the speed limit
Right.
on the highway. So, all I see is the rail, and when it was the accident, we hit the, you know. So when I see the rails and then the turns and then cars merging, I'm like, holy. So
PTSD. Yeah.
I start breathing. I'm trying to play the game on my phone. It's gonna get all the way into the right lane. Next thing I know, I'm looking like, oh, we going real slow. So I'm like, oh, I feel a little comfortable now. This motherfucker got the hazard lights on. Like, this we gonna do the whole way.
Yeah, listen.
But no, they going like 25, 30 on the highway
On the highway? Oh no.
with the
I told you,
hazard
close
lights
your
on.
eyes. Close your eyes. Hey,
I'm sorry, hey
Paul.
Paul, with the hazard lights on. Look, I was literally, I was shaking, and something about the turn, girl, it like, when I say in my mind, I'm stomping on no brakes. Girl, and I'm going through it. It was like, yep, well, that's what we gonna do. Oh, and I was like, oh man, I felt so bad.
Listen, friend, I don't blame you. I understand. That's how I am with swimming. I don't go past 3 feet. I almost drowned one time in my life, and I feel like every time I get in deep water, I just gotta. And then I ain't that tall. I'm only 5'1". Like, you ever see somebody like panic?
Hmm.
Like, if the tub was too deep, I probably wouldn't get in it. I swear to God, because I feel like I'm a drown.
Yeah, when they get right
But
here, I'm pivoting back.
let-
I have too many near
that's
death
too
girl
high
in this
for
point.
me. Right here, that's too much. That's too
That's like
much.
by that time I got stuck on the bumper boats.
On a bumper boat, friend.
No, it's this amusement park in PA. It's like a old thing.
Dorney Park.
But say again.
It's Dorney Park. I've been there. Where they got like the bumper,
And
water
they got the
bumper
bumper
boats.
water boats.
Yeah.
So I'm in there, and so you know how you got to hold the thing, and it got to girl. So I get in, my kids talk me into it. I'm already scared because I got water trauma. I'm all messed up, right? So we in a thing with my kids. It's always the boys that get me. My sons get me all the time. So we're in there, they like, so that my son bumped me, boom, boom, they bumped me. I'm like, oh shit. In my mind, I fell off the thing. So I got to spinning, and I spun in a corner. Girl, why I'm just spinning around in a circle? I could not get out this corner. Them people had to come and get me. They done blew the horn for us to get out. Listen, I could not get the thing. I could not
Listen.
get it to come back for nothing, huh?
No, I said, listen.
Listen,
No.
I
Mm-mm.
was so embarrassed. My kids were so embarrassed. Girl, you should have seen them. The guy had to like, so it's like a little bridge thing right there. You know what I'm talking about? That corner where the little walker, that little So he
Did he?
trying to knock me out of that by bumping mine out, and he like hit the button. I'm like, I am. I'm just spinning in a circle. Spinning.
Friend. I probably wouldn't either been there to help because I would have friend. Get out! Yeah, we both would have
Cause
drowned.
I
We both
panicked.
would have drowned. I feel
He said how I get stuck. I panic. I don't do. I'm telling when people like we gonna go swim. I go to the pool. I go swimming all day long. I
Damn.
don't when they get here. Yeah, I ain't been on the bubble boat since. Anyway,
friend.
how are you?
My
Right, Jay, she couldn't drive. She shouldn't have been driving, Jay.
listen. My mother said that she want me to start going to the wild with her, right? and they got swimming classes from. We should take. We gonna learn how to. You know how to swim?
Cool.
Yeah, you know how to swim.
You ain't just hear my me say I came in to drown in a minute a day.
Yeah, listen, listen,
Oh,
listen.
oh,
I just heard you from me, Eva. I don't know how to swim either, right? But we gonna conquer that this year because we gotta be able to
cool,
weather the storm.
cool.
Listen, listen. I try, but I put on I was the probably the only adult at the Six Flags the last time I went with the life jacket. And when I was over there trying on the kids' life jacket before I got in the wave pool, cause detrimental, detrimental in there.
No, but I'm still tripping. You just played in my face. Now, I ain't even gonna
I
say this person.
did.
I
I
ain't gonna say this
said
person
we.
name because I know they think I think they still watch the show. I used to deal with somebody that was in the boats and stuff, right? He knew I had water from him, so we used to go to the boat. Now he always wanted to do cute dates on the boat.
Oh,
So
I remember that.
one day,
I remember
you
that.
remember I called you? I was mad. Let me tell you. So I
Oh,
said you get on first because the boat is already doing this. So I'm like, it's moving already. You ain't got no steps where I can step into the boat. He like, no, you step on the boat, and then he said, look, all you gotta do is do that. So mind you, he stepped on a boat. It sunk down, and I said, you think I'm gonna get on there? So he like, man, get on the boat. He like, I'm not gonna let. And this is how everybody always get me. I'm not gonna let nothing happen to you. You safe. Y'all men stay with that one. So I'm looking at now after he done stepped on the boat is steady now, it's really like rocking. And I ain't on that boat. I ain't on that boat. So why I step on, he like, all right. He said, just step on and I'm gonna put you in the boat. Man, that motherfucker tossed my ass in that boat. I went like all I was like,
Wow. Wow.
listen. And then you gonna tell me,
Wow.
huh?
We
The
gonna put
date
you
was
in
cool and
time
all, but that motherfucker took me to a boat. Yeah, I didn't
out.
know how that was.
We gonna put you in time out as smooth as that came out. Wow.
listen,
Listen,
the boat in my mind, I fell in the water, but when I say all I did was step up, and it was like, and I went like that. I was like, oh my God, like, what the hell? Don't throw me. I said, place me. I don't want to place me. But
it's okay.
anyway,
Friend, we are conquering this fear this year.
listen. All right, we're going to get into the show.
We, we swimming, watch, on a beach near you.
Who going to swim? I'm a girl. I'm a duck walk. I ain't gonna know about no swimming.
I be in the water like,
I can't float.
that's it.
I can't float, though.
I
No bullshit. I can't float.
can't float either. Friend,
Oh,
we
we
meant to be. We meant to
listen.
be.
If I go on a cruise, I tell anybody when I go on my little first little cruise, right? If anything happened, I'm on the headboard. I don't care what happened.
And so
Bro, fuck the headboard. We gonna make sure we get to the lifeboat. I got you. Don't worry.
Listen,
We is getting there. Cause I can't swim.
I don't know about nobody else, but they gotta have headboards that can, yeah. All right.
I'm gonna tell
All
you
right.
what. I'm gonna
Huh?
tell you what. Hold up
What?
before you go any further. I'm gonna tell you what. If I'm gonna get on a boat, if by chance I get on a boat, I'm gonna wear the life jacket the whole time I'm on the boat. I don't
Thank
care how
you.
big that boat is.
Thank
I'm wearing the
you.
life jacket the whole time, even in the pool on the boat. It
I'm
don't
wearing
matter.
like I'm wearing floaties too.
Ain't nothing like a rock with arms and legs.
Listen, I'm wearing floaties. I'm wearing a life jacket. The little what's the little tube thing? Oh my God!
All that. Listen, I feel you.
Did I tell you? Okay, then we gonna get to the show. Let me tell you about this kid. I hate them things. Remember when it was called Wild World?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay, so picture it. We at Wild World. I'm with my kid's father at the time. That's how long ago this was. So okay, so we go to Wild World,
Wait for
and
that
it's
J bad.
my cousin and her friend. So we all at Wild World. So you know the little wave pool. So I'm like, I'm not going all the way at the top where the big waves at. So he like, I got you. Mind you, I'm young. You sure? So they like, yeah, we gonna get the tubes. So my cousin, she comes straight, mind you, she's shorter than me. She can't swim neither. So the guys can swim. So they come back with the tubes. So we going out, and I'm like, my feet is not touching the floor. So he like, I got you, man. So you know how they blew the little whistle and the wave started. All I knew was the wave was over my head. I go down under the tube. This dummy, instead of grabbing me, he's trying to push me up through the
No.
yo. So
No. Supposed to sit on it and hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
so
Supposed to
luckily
push you out there
my
like a
cousin
porpoise.
friend was smart enough to yank me up. He was like, yo, you gonna kill her. Girl, he literally is trying to push me up through the bottom. It was a mess. I ain't there. I ain't been back there since.
Yeah, you might have grabbed it and taken it with you.
Yeah,
Mm-mm. That
maybe
whistle would
September.
blow and it would be all hell would break loose in the water.
All right. So it's been a lot going on. And we're gonna get back to the show. I'm sorry. All right, so we're gonna get into the show. So it's been a lot going on. Got a couple of topics. Bosco sent some topics, but of course we know he's not here, but we're gonna do our best with his. So y'all ready for the first one? All right. What are your thoughts on why do people feel the need that they need to alter who they are to feel accepted by others? Do you have some backstory on why this top became a topic? So you know how like it's not a backstory. You know how like we may see people and you know them, but they may perpetrate themselves to be one way that they really aren't, just to be like or to feel like accepted or to feel like you know they don't want they can't be themselves to a degree.
Um, I feel like they probably feel insecure about something within. So they feel the need to, idolize or be like or be what somebody else is. Um, um, but once they find their people, they'll be who they are. I mean, and then today's world, in today's culture, uh, I mean, it's what you watch, what you read, what you put in front of your face. Your influence. Everybody is influenced by something. So I feel like it's just like a personal thing. I don't know, man. I don't know why people do that. Yeah, it's lack of self acceptance too. I agree. Insecurities, their upbringing, how they was, treated as a child, never feeling, loved. It could be a million reasons why.
Hmm. Paul.
Exactly. I agree with you. You know, a lot of people, like you say, they have such things to watch and such influences from so many sources, and they look and see what is accepted and what isn't accepted. So, with most reasonable, illogical thinking people, they try to adhere to what is acceptable, even though what may be acceptable isn't who they are as a person, but they want to be accepted. So they step on the stage of life and they feel comfortable not having to be themselves. You know, it's hard being yourself. It's easy being something that you're not. It's hard being yourself
Oh, where
because
you at?
where am I at right
No,
here?
no, 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 not you. No, not you. Go ahead. Not
Oh,
you.
I thought you said
I'm
where was
sorry.
I at? I'm here. I thought I went mute for a minute. But yes, I mean, you know, people just it's hard for you to be accepted because who you are really might not be an exciting person to those that are looking for excitement. Who you are, you might not be quite an intelligent person for somebody who's looking for those that are intelligent can carry on nice conversations. Who you are, you might not be a fun type person that likes to laugh and carry on with people and stuff. So you don't get along with them type of people. I mean, it's just about what you want to do with you. Where you feel about you. I feel like me. I'm gonna use myself. I hate to say about other people. Myself. It took me a while to actually start being myself because growing up, I found it was easier for me to be portray an image to others in order for them to like me. I became the best little shoplifter at 13 going in the grocery stores, whatnot. Because people like that. The guys I hung around in the neighborhood, they like that. Oh, let's get Paul because Paul can go in there and get it. So I portrayed that image with them guys. But still now I had another image with these other guys where I played football and participated in sports and I stayed away from all the other stuff. So it's just about finding your place. I'm gonna go because that's something people gotta look at themselves and think about. What is it that makes me me?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, most of the comments, even on shout out to YouTube and Facebook, um, a lot of it's a unanimous that a lot of people think that it begins with self love, and I also think sometimes, um, like you said, like when people are younger, if they were like bullied or felt like they weren't in a particular crowd, or you know what I mean, this like cool person. So they feel like, I guess, like we see it a lot, like when people get like older, go through like teenage years, all of a sudden they become the person that they wish they were all along. And they do and say things just for people to like them. Not just be who you are, because it's like it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. So, but
I
so I want to dive into the self love thing, right? So when we say that, how do a person practice self love? Like, you know, when we say it starts with loving yourself, some people really don't, and you have adults who don't love themselves or know how to love themselves. So they do look for like social acceptance. We see it a lot of times. Like just take social media. If we want to look at like influencers, a lot of them don't even live the life that they live online, but they feel like if they get the love from the masses, like that they have it, but they really don't. They have a lot of things within internally that they don't like about themselves, or depression, or whatever it is that may be. So, how is it, or what would you say a person can do to practice like self love?
I feel like um it's something that I can't speak for everybody, but I don't know if it's taught because I think growing up, like you're taught to love like your family, your people around you. So I guess it's assumed that it's like a natural thing. I guess I don't know. I could be wrong. To love yourself, but um a lot of people don't know how to love themselves because uh typically you're more focused on loving somebody else, or you come from not having love at home. That was my personal experience with it. Like I had love, but it was a different kind of love. um so loving yourself can be kind of hard when you don't see things in yourself. It's a self-esteem thing. um and a lot of adults don't deal with, a lot of teens don't deal with it, and you grow up to be an adult that still had that same issue. And as an adult, if you don't I don't know, like kind of start pouring into yourself because you pour into so many other people, or like you pour into your work or you pour into your education. A lot of people don't really have the time to pour into themselves. Like a lot of people don't find themselves attractive. I'm sorry, I got to wash my hair, it's itchy. Um, like a lot of people um don't have conversations with themselves, stand in the mirror, fall in love with what you look at yourself. You can talk about what you don't like. Oh, I got, extra gut here. I got, this, little extra fat right here. My arms shake a little bit. But you can talk about what you don't like, but what do you actually love about yourself? You feel me? 9 times out of 10, you can ask a person what they're looking for in a partner, and they can tell you what they're looking for in a partner. But then you can ask them some simple questions about themselves, and they don't know what they want, out of life in general. But you gotta put in the work. So I think the best thing to do is, uh, for my ladies, I don't know about for the men, but the men can do this too. Go in your house. Uh, Close your bedroom door if you got a full length body mirror. Use it. If you don't, I suggest you put that on your wish list and go and get you one.
Hmm.
Stand in that mirror in your birthday suit and have a serious conversation with yourself if it's physical. If it's mental, put your clothes on. But have a conversation with yourself. Find out what you like and don't like about yourself. Find out, this type person you are. Date yourself. Go out. Go to the movies. Take yourself to dinner. Um, when you having like little moments, for us ladies, like you go to the barbershop. You go to the hair and nail salon. You feel me? Like just do those things and enjoy them. Do the things you like more. If you like going to the museum, take yourself to a date for to the museum, and then go out to dinner afterwards by yourself. Like no bullcrap. Get to know yourself. Even if you're in a relationship, even if you're married, you may need to do that to find some things within yourself, so that you and your partner can be better. Especially if you feel distant or you feel as though you something or not. That makes sense. 'Cause I
It
think
did.
my medicine kicking in.
I wanted to read a couple of comments. Some of them were really insightful. I want to respond to a couple of them. Um, hey, Fallon. She said you definitely got to heal yourself first, and I think that's kind of important. Um, India. Hey, Pooh. She said it could, but what if it doesn't, didn't, or don't? Um, everyone said it starts at home or how your parents brought you up. So I kind of wanted to touch on those three. I think they're all good points. And for the most part, it's like unanimous. However, let's be real. Let's be realistic. It sounds good, but it's also hard to do, because let's just be clear. Everybody doesn't come from a home environment where they are loved, because some parents don't know how to love. They don't know how to love on their children. Some people think, oh, if I buy you this, or because I provided this roof over your head, the love piece could be missing. Then on top
Yeah.
of that, when it comes to self healing, as you said, sometimes you have to dissect yourself and really look at yourself in the mirror, or just take a deep thought and then pick yourself apart. That's how you heal. But if you don't feel like it's nothing wrong, you don't think you need healing. And a lot of times some people are afraid to self reflect because they're afraid of what they might discover about themselves. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's not a journey that you can go on independently. And that's not to say, oh, your friends. If I'm not saying that, it's going back into May is Mental Health Awareness Month. A lot of people don't understand all of this plays into your mental health. I mean, sometimes I hate to be this person. I know I'm probably, well, fucking, I'm this person. In our community, we have to understand therapy, counseling, all of those things are there for us and can be essential to give us the tools that we need to get to a place where we can heal. Just because you have a therapist or a counselor does not mean you're crazy or you need medication. Sometimes you need that non-biased person to tell you the truth about you and to give you the tools that you need to heal. So sometimes we just got to be realistic. And then honestly, it do also in your friendship circles. I must say I love the circle of friends that I had today. Because if I'm wrong or something going on with me, they gonna tell me straight up. A lot of us we surround ourselves with people who enable us not to love ourselves, or people that's want to see you just as miserable as they are. You know what I mean? So you have a lot of that. So in order to heal, you have to do some understanding for yourself, and that's just a deeper conversation. Um, I'm not fully equipped to
Yeah.
give that
Me
insight
either.
on, because I mean, I ain't, give me about a year, and I probably can. But I would encourage everyone to, if you having that battle within a self love, and then, like I said, it's not about your clothes, it's not about if you pretty or not. It's because that all of that is in the eye of the beholder. A lot of people wearing labels and look goofy. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you love yourself. Some people think, oh, I can buy this person this, or oh, I give my kids this. Yeah, you spoiling your kids, but emotionally they're empty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a whole different scope, and that's my take on that. Paul, would you like to add anything? I'm sorry.
Let me turn on my mic. Would I like to add anything to what? I don't forgot what we was talking about. I'm so engrossed in what you and Jude saying. I don't forgot what we was talking about.
Self love. So some of the questions were saying self love starts with you have to heal yourself first, or it's about how it starts at home with like your upbringing.
Okay, that's a nice subject, very nice subject. As the Governor Mike might say, let me tell you this here. Uh, you know, when my grandparents had to take and raise three grandkids after my mom was killed, right? My older sister, she was already staying with them. She is 13. Then myself, my little sister came, and we was getting ready to be 11 and 10, eventually in 72. So when we came back to live with them in West Asheville out here, they had their house out here where they had been running a liquor house since about the 50s. And it's just a one bedroom house with a living room, kind of like a kitchen area where everybody hung out at the table and got drunk and talked shit and all that stuff. And they had a little section for us that was curtained off with our beds back there. So now we getting up in size, so they figure, hey, we gotta move. They don't want to give up the house and their business because that's where they've been making their extra income at. But we gotta move. I did not experience love in the sense of what you might experience as from being from your parent, from my grandparents. Because in a sense, I later found out that my granddad resented us coming to stay and having to move out of the house. And we moved to another house, into another neighborhood and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But he kind of still resented that. And you know, the love that I exhibit to others is a love that I developed for myself through many trials and errors. Jude said something, talk to yourself in the showers, whatnot. I talk to myself a lot. It took me a while to be able to sit down and talk to myself about things. Because I used to act on impulse. I wouldn't think. I just ask somebody say something, bam, then there I go. Used to be like that on Facebook. But I talk to myself a lot now. And I think things through and then I respond. I am an emphatic person. I hope I said that right because I ain't got my teeth in. You know,
I
that's
got you. I
something.
got
Yeah. But see that goes with the image thing. There's
Right.
another thing I want to get in there
you.
too.
Listen.
That goes with another thing because see people. I had a woman tell me. She said, "Well, I don't see nothing attractive. I'm not attracted to nothing about you." I said, "Oh." I said, so evidently you looking for something that's superficial. Because I say, it's hard for you to find a person like me. You're not gonna find
Exactly.
anybody like me. So I
So
said
you got
the things that you're attracted to are the things that I'm not. And I guess that flew over her head because she didn't never respond back. But I'm saying I go to city council. I don't even take my teeth on, have my teeth up there talking to them people. So I really don't care about no image. I got to say what I'm gonna say regardless of how I look. I'm cool with me. You see, that's where I'm at with loving myself. I don't have no image to pretend to nobody. I don't have to wear the fanciest clothes and the latest shoes and all that stuff. No, that's not me. You're gonna see me for who I am. When you see me, that's who I am. When you talk to me, that's who I am. There's no images. I love me and I love others. When I say I
that's how
love
you
somebody, I love
that's that Pisces in you, Paul.
them. Yes.
Amen. Y'all season over. Anyway, let me
It's
piggyback
always
off.
out
My
season.
season never over. Pisces
Thank you.
season never over.
It's always out season.
Bring it back, bring it back. Okay, so let me piggyback off of both of y'all. Oh shoot, damn it, both of y'all real quick. Um,
12 months.
the affirmations are wonderful.
Man,
Um,
what?
I'm a personal story. I went through a period. Let me just say that, right? And I had to learn how to love myself, and part of that was being by myself, right? Even as a parent. Um, and one of the things was taking a deep hard look at myself. And then again, sometimes it takes that person to pick you apart, and you have to be able. A lot of people don't do well with critique, and that's why I say sometimes hearing the not so good things about yourself helps you to grow and change.
Yeah.
And I had to go through that period, and then I had a family member, and I know I talked to Judah and them about it. Like part of our family, like traditions and things like that. For us, like meditation, um, sage, affirmations, pray, all of those things combined into one. And I started doing that like every day. Those are things I started doing like with my kids. And my kids like, man, you on that? My sons, they was like, she doing witchcraft again. I'm like, it's not witchcraft. But now they do it. You get what I mean? Because one, they saw a difference in me. And then when I started to surround myself, and I ain't gonna lie to you, a lot of the people that I socialized myself with at that time, they started falling off. And then I started being around more positive people. And I went through a period where I really didn't deal with nobody because I was like, certain things was just like a turn off. You know what I mean? So the more I started to, and I think somebody in the comment section said pour into yourself and be selfish and pour into you. When you start to choose you and not other people, the people who you don't need fall off. Whether they think you being funny, whether they think whatever, that's because people can't have that control over you. And the same way I tell everybody else, if I can pour into your cup, who's going to be able to replenish mine? To replenish mine. So affirmations is great. Whatever you need to do for yourself to make you feel good. I mean, again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Cause I ain't gonna say I'm Beyonce, but shit, I talk about I ain't ugly. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's not even about just that. Just even with affirmations, pick out 5 to 10 things about yourself that's great. And
All
remind
right.
yourself of every day of who you are, and say that every day before you start your day. And I'm gonna tell you, your walk, your talk, everything becomes different. Like for instance, you ever be around somebody and they talk negative a lot, or
Yeah.
every day is just a bad day, or you meet them people who I hate this when people call it, oh, I'm just blunt. I'm just gonna speak my mind. No, you're ignorant.
You know what get on my nerves just as much though as those kind of people, the always happy people. Cause listen, just be normal, be in
Right.
between. Cause I think I'm more of an in between. Might have a really good day, I might have a really shitty day, I might have a really normal day, but I don't see you being mad all the time or you being like fucking cheerful all the time. Both of them are annoying. Just like I guess in the middle is annoying to both of them. But just understand, I just don't. I don't like none of it. It just I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm too chill for some people. Then maybe I'm too nice, and then maybe I'm too mean. Who knows? You feel me?
No, I mean, I think you pretty much, you just you. That's what people, I mean, and I think when people let, I don't like when people develop somebody else's personality. You have your own.
Right,
The same way, like, I had my
right,
days, but I just noticed, like, I hate when I'm around people who think being mean or being derogatory, you think you getting smart or you want to be blunt, but it's really
right.
ignorance and you thinking that you right. Not only is it off putting, it makes me not want to be around that person. When you, and that's when you get to a point, I think also having self love is having inner peace
Yeah.
with yourself. When you start to be at peace, you don't want to, like,
But look,
you
that's
start to feel an energy shift when you're around negative energy and anything that this, and when we talk about disturbing your peace, you ever be around people and you just like, ooh, and you can't put your finger on it. And we like to call them dark clouds, but it's like some people just exude negativity.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's just like I wanted to point out this comment. Andy Pearson said, and being selfish, pouring into yourself. That's key to self-love. Um, a lot of people make people feel bad for being just that selfish, for doing just that, being selfish and pouring into their self. But in order for I'm gonna use like the mommy real quick because this is Mother's Day month as well. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers. I forgot to say that. Um, 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 just think about something, right? If a mother, the mother is no objection to the men. Talk about the women real quick. The mother is like the matriarch of the family, right? She is the matriarch. And if she ain't together in here, you feel me? Like you know this your mom, you feel me? Like she usually she get up, she make breakfast, you feel me? She get herself together, she make sure everybody together, she go to work, she out the door, y'all out the door, along with your father, you feel me? Just say this the whole house together. We ain't even gonna make this no broken home. Cause everybody know how it is in the broken home as well. Um But say like you know this, like your mom get up and she ain't make breakfast. She in the bed. She not she not really this whole day she just not her normal self. And then from that day on, like she kind of changed and she just not as bright as she used to be, and she just don't see herself the way she used to, and she just need a day to breathe. She always taking care of the family. You feel me? She always taking care of the household. You feel me? She always making sure everybody good. But right now she tired. She does this every day. You feel me? And now she just need like a day. But she having a bad day. Most people don't make that day better. They still worry about their needs. You feel me? When you be selfish and pour into yourself, say like she took a day vacation, weekend vacation, and didn't answer her phone or whatever. Her phone probably be ringing like hell. Everything. You feel me? Like, I need this. Ma, where you at? Ma, what you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You feel me? Pouring into yourself is important. It's okay to take care of everybody. And I think my statement was more towards your grown ass kids than the ones that you need to take care of this in school.
say that
but
again.
but I wanted to use the mother because I noticed that a lot of mothers are tired. And for that reason, the moment like they do want to take a break and pour into themselves, they call it selfish. And it's not. It's about, you feel me, like living and trying to experience some kind of, joy in life. It's hard taking care of people your whole life. um but pour into yourself and don't care what nobody got to say about you, you doing it.
Okay.
That makes
I
sense.
wanted, huh?
What Bosco saying?
I, we're gonna take that down for a second. I'm not there yet.
No.
Um, I'm getting there. Um, he I was going to switch gears, but I'm kind of not. I'm going in order. Rich, can you take that down? That's not the one yet. It's after this one. Thank you. Um,
It popped up the biggest day. Damn. This is a important
no,
announcement.
it'll be after
Now,
this one.
please have your
I'm gonna
attention
skip
for one
something.
moment.
No, I'm gonna skip something, and I might wait until next week for the next one. I was going to switch gears. I think I'm gonna stay on it. I'm trying to make it go in sync. Um, this was one of Bosco's. Why is money? Because I think it kind of goes into what like Drew was saying. Why is money a deciding factor against Black people?
Oh, I wish Mike was here because he would know the exact thing. Wasn't it a book written? I can't remember all the way. It was a book written, something about Negro, and it taught, how, if you teach them, to buy this, or, buy certain things, because money is important to everybody, but it depends on how it's important. We like more fancy things, cars, clothes, shoes, yada yada yada. And I feel like other races of people focus more on generational wealth. Now we are starting to do that now more. We're starting to see more of that, but we wasn't worried about that before. Um, the biggest scam the biggest scam and come up is life insurance. And you couldn't convince black people to buy it, even when they told everybody they were using it for generational wealth. And
Mm-hmm.
we rather stand in line for tennis shoes and things like that. I feel like money is always going to be important. It is important because you need it to get certain things, and with the world being the way it is, you need more of it to get certain things. But the U.S. dollar ain't what you need to be worried about. Is gold and and foreign currency at the moment. To be honest with you.
I think I think a lot of us weaponize money though too. So and when I say weaponize, meaning to get what
Yeah,
we want. And then when you get it and the person wants more of it,
that's cool though.
huh?
Mm.
I mean, and a person gets more of it, it's like it becomes a problem. So I do agree with you when it comes to what money is needed, but I think because I think I know where he was going with this one is the weaponization of it. But what I notice is a lot of people complain about money being a factor after they use their money to get what they want or to be persuasive to get what they want. And then it becomes an issue when the money getting low or now they can't afford what they want. Did that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Sometimes they could money or lack of money be an issue before it gets to that point. Because some people, men or women or whatever they do, however they date, might not want to date somebody because they don't seem to have enough funds. Not because they have funds and start getting low on funds, but you don't have enough funds to be dating me in the first place. That kind of attitude there, something like that. Because that works just as well as, okay, well, hey, we going out to the Red Lobster and shit. Go ahead and grab you some, whatever that shit is y'all eat, lobster tails, whatever that seafood delight stuff is, wherever the seafood places y'all love to spend $40, $50 on a piece of fish and whatnot. I'm allergic to that stuff. In the meanwhile, but still, yeah, stuff like that. No, sweetie, we gonna go somewhere like the Chili's and get this platter thing and get a little bit of everything, shit like
Chili's.
that.
The
Oh, don't take her
sampler.
to Chili's. Don't
Yeah,
take
y'all
her
got
to
chili.
Chili's.
Okay, but
Don't
yeah.
take her to
So,
Chili's. You can have the bubble guts after that. Do not take her to Chili's.
well, it's been a while since I ate at chili, but I'm just saying because see, right now, as I tell everybody, we do not have no black restaurants around here in Asheville. We got black food trucks, but no black restaurants. We got all these doggone vacant buildings around here throughout town, and y'all want to bring tourists in here, but the tourists ask, "Where's your nearest black restaurant?" And you don't have any. But you don't want black people coming downtown to have a business. But that's another subject. But anyway, like I was saying, what was I saying? I'm so high.
Bosco, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on? How you feeling?
Well, wore out. I decided to clock in. What was the question? I just heard the part about money. I didn't hear what the question was.
It was your topic. Why is money
I didn't hear it. That's why I was like, I just heard y'all discussing.
why is money a deciding factor against black people?
We do it to ourselves. We act
Well,
like we ain't
time.
never had nothing. We do it to ourselves. That's why I had said on one time that yeah, we could be racist against each other because we got gatekeepers. When you get a certain amount of money, you can't get in. Look how we okay. A good situation. Look okay. Look how we like like Paul was just saying about us not having stores here. We just got food trucks. Now we will put our money into someone who we don't know and support them while bashing the guy who's trying to make it in our own little hood. Like we'll say, yeah, Jay Z got this, you ain't got nothing, blah 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 blah. But you got your man down the street trying to sell some shirts, but and he's selling them for $20. But we'll go buy a shirt from Carl Kanai or whoever for like $100, and then the guy who was selling the shirts down the street, we'll trash him. That's one thing. And look how we do in relationships. Like with men, we're called broke because we got regular jobs. We do it to ourselves. We use money against ourselves because we think it's a flex. You ain't got no money. You ain't got this. How much? First thing people ask, how much money you got? And when you look at social media, who's on social media always flashing the dollars? Us, the guys. I'm gonna put that on the men. Always flashing the dollar bills. I got all this. Y'all ain't got nothing. Y'all haters. Y'all ain't got nothing. Like we said, well, do you got a bank account? I don't need no bank account. Da, da, da. You just broke. You just broke. And that's the first thing. That's the first thing we say to each other, whether you're male or female.
Hmm.
You broke. You're broke. You're broke because you're an average. You're just an average person. There's nothing wrong being an average person. You're just a regular person. We weaponize money against each other. Period. We want to be. I'm gonna keep on it. We want to be like them. That's why we always come when something happens. What do we do? Well, they do it. Well, they do it. They do it. But then on the flip, we're like, oh, forget them. Forget them. Blah 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 blah. But like I said, as soon as something happens, we compare ourselves to them. We're only 13%. We only make up 13% of the nation. Why do we consistently compare ourselves to them with money and we use it against ourselves? We're not them. Excuse my friend, but fuck them. We got our own problems. But we do it against each other. But then we compare ourselves to them again. We're our own worst enemy when it comes to money. We forget our we okay, good example, Snoop Dogg. 2016, what'd he say? Let me find one of you jigaboos or coons, da 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 da. Let's fast forward to 2025. He the main one up there. What Fat Joe and them say? Oh, I did it for the money. But y'all had all this mouth prior. But as soon as somebody put that dollar in your pocket, oh, I never said that. See, now Snoop Dogg is on social media saying, well, y'all calling me to selling out, da 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 da. You did sell out. You put down every black person saying, let me find the first coon or whatever to get up there and perform for Trump. But you did it. But
We
now
was
you
the
want to put
first
down
people.
black. Yeah, you want to put down black people for holding you accountable because you did it for the money. We'll sell out
Everybody
for
doing stuff
Can
for
I,
money nowadays. It seems like
you
can I
know what,
read a
Jew?
comment? It was kind
Yeah,
of good. This was from
let me say this one. Let me say this one thing right quick. Me and my friends had a contract for Universal Records. We were the first. We were probably the first act to get offered a contract to Universal, because Universal was not sending out rap contracts. They were doing movies. We had a contract. We didn't sign that. Well, two of the guys wanted to. Me and my cousin like, no, because basically we had to basically sell out, and we said no. We went. We was in New York. Da da da. We had a van. We drove back down here to North Carolina. No deal. Cause we wasn't selling out. They wanted us to sell out, do all that stuff, talk about shooting and killing. That's not how we were. We said we ain't doing it. Then they didn't have a dollar amount. Well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Da, da. No. And I said I'm not. I said I'm not signing. I'm going back home. And my cousin said I'm going too. Then the two guys that wanted to sign the contract, they had no choice but come back because we were driving. Well,
yeah.
I'm not going to sell out. We had a big deal coming too. But I was like, forget that. I'm not selling out. And now people say, oh, well, you ain't never done nothing. I said, I could have been that. But I told not to sell my people out. I didn't take the money. So
You
I
ain't
didn't
no
get the money.
sellout.
I'm no sellout. I wasn't going to sell out. I wasn't going to do it. I don't care how much money they threw at us. They threw us like 50 grand a piece. Like, yo, this. It was like good 200 grand or something like that. I'm like, no, I'm not selling out. I'm going home. And my cousin said, let's go. Because I wouldn't do it.
that's good.
And I still wouldn't do it.
I'm gonna read this
But you,
one.
you saying, yeah.
I'm gonna read this one. I think it was a good one. Hey, Radio said that's why everybody leave the hood because wait a minute. You ain't got my a chance to. Okay, it said that's why everybody leave the hood because when you try to build something, the community tries to line you up. Look at Nip, just jealousy. That's why everyone doesn't like to build and with their own people because they can
Hmm.
be killed for trying to be better.
Hmm.
And then Juice says when we build in our hoods, we kill us or destroy the business. I think all of that is also true. And then
Hmm.
one thing, another piece to that is not only do we the mentality that we have of, and unfortunately, I only see it in our communities. Let's say Drew got business and she
Hmm.
put it in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Everybody think they either supposed to get something for free
Yep.
or
Yep.
she's supposed to negotiate her price.
Right.
And
A
then she
discount.
does it, then all of a sudden, oh, she wants some
Yep.
shit. She thinks she better than the next person. Nobody
Yep.
wants to pour into the business. So,
Yep.
but when she has to put out, and we talk about this all the time on a business show,
Hmm.
nobody's going to care about your business more than you. When you putting your money out, a person
Yep.
will, people will cut your throat, do whatever, just because not knowing what you got to put out and just being disrespectful. So I think the bigger thing is it's not that people don't want to support. People look for a handout,
Yep.
and then and let me talk about the other flip side. I'm sorry, my nose. I'm stuffy. You
Hmm.
do have some, not all.
Hmm.
Some some business owners feel like, oh, because I put my business here, you have to support, and they can lack in quality,
Yeah.
consistency, professionalism, and a lot
Mainly.
of things. So those are the things people don't like to talk about. We quick to say, "Oh, well, yeah, there is a downside," but talk about on both sides of the spectrum, and then
Hmm.
what could be done on both sides to mend that gap, where as though there are more flourishing businesses in neighborhoods. Because what tends to happen is people and unfortunately in our neighborhoods you just want to make money in the hood. That mentality has to stop because you
Yeah.
don't see some successful businesses. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start here, but okay,
Hmm.
maybe I want to branch out to another hood. What you
Hmm.
should do is there's no ceiling when it comes to your business, and when you branch out, let me franchise this shit and put it in another state, and then
Hmm.
when that neighborhood stop pouring into it, all of a sudden the business fold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
to
it's a
add
lot
on to
of
that,
different
Coco.
missing pieces that nobody want to talk about. So I'm not going to just blame the neighborhood. I'm gonna blame the mentality of the people that's opening up these businesses in these
Hmm.
neighborhoods as well. Because if you just
Hmm.
thinking, okay, I'm gonna get money because I put it in the hood, these my people they supposed to support. We have the bet. First of all, no, I want all the money. I want their money. I want our money.
Hmm.
I want it all. And we just have
Yep.
this thing where as though, oh, this is in the third, and we know that all the time. The biggest support come from outside of what you have, and then it's just a lot that goes into it. It's that's a
Yeah.
whole conversation that can be dissected
Yeah.
in so many ways because a lot of entrepreneurs are very standard in their thinking or thinking, and then they get defensive. They don't take
Yeah.
critique, and then like again, consistency, communication, professionalism, quality,
Yeah.
Can I
all
say
of that
one
goes
thing?
up and that plays a part.
Can I say
Okay,
one thing? Just
sure.
wanted to chime. I was just gonna say that when we talk about this topic that we're talking about, I feel like it starts at home. Like we
Uh-huh.
competing with our own, we competing with our own brothers, sisters, cousins, mothers, fathers. Within a
Yeah.
family, we got a million. We got more than $1 million within a family. If we
Yeah.
just sat down and stopped rushing out the door, let's come
Yeah.
together and figure out a plan. We'll put all our heads together within our family and figure it out. That's the one
Yeah.
thing we haven't figured out yet. All these other
Yeah.
races and
Hmm.
they figure that part out. That's basic. We can't even
You
try
know
to
what's
figure out what's going on in the community. In the community, if we can't figure out what's going on at home, because at home is where it all starts at.
something,
Well, now
Rich?
family's the only part. I think in a lot of times in now families also the mentality that spills over is I figured it out now you got to figure it out. And then
You know
you have
some.
a lot of times, hold on one second, a lot of times
Yeah.
even with that people don't know how to teach. And I
Yeah.
even found that out like I'm gonna say the hard way. Everybody don't know how to communicate and say this is what need to be done, especially if you got a person that don't want to listen. But the thing about it, what molding is how many families in the community even know how to save or have a savings account, let alone have a business to say or
Yeah.
have financial literacy to teach their children because these are the things that we see, but you also got to think culture plays a part in it too.
Yeah.
So a lot of
You know
other
some.
cultures, they're groomed and they're
Uh huh.
taught because like Judah said in the beginning, generational wealth. So they know how to pass it down and they you see them kids be in the stores as babies. So they grow up
Yeah.
in the business.
Yeah,
You know
culturally,
something.
man. Whenever you get deep, oh, go ahead.
Hey, yeah. To add, it's like we don't adapt because, and I found this out. Like, first of all, when I was DJing, like really out there, um, the difference is we don't like to pay. We don't want to pay money. Period. But we like to use it. The reason I'm saying that because I had a show one time. It's going to be an 8 hour show, which is a long time to do one. DJ. This lady wanted to pay me $100 for 8 hours. $100 in the sun, no canopy and nothing. I looked at her. She said, "Is that too much?" No, no. She said, "Is that too little?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You want me to work 8 hours in the sun for $100?" Yeah. You're just DJing. I said, "Do you know what entails of being a DJ?" I said, "It takes me 30 minutes just to pack my things up to put in the car. Then I have to drive to the event and set everything up myself. Then I gotta do DJ 8 hours, and I gotta do the same thing back." I said, "You don't have a canopy. I gotta stand out in the sun." And I was mixing with vinyl, so vinyl's gonna melt. She said, "Well, you can't buy a tent." No, you are running this event, you know. So I didn't do the event. I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." That same week, this woman called me. This white lady called me for a 3 hour event. She said, "I'll pay you $300. Would you do it?" I said, "Yeah." I was only going to charge her like 250 or 200. I even tried. I said, "Hey, you don't have to pay me that much." She said, "No, no, no, no. It's your time I'm paying for. $300 for 3 hours. That's $100 an hour." And she had a tent, the whole lit. I ate, I drank. Well, non-alcoholic. I ate, I drank, had a tent, had a chair. She had a stand for me. All I had to do was show up and DJ. That was it. And see, with us, with our lessons, we look at if we try to learn a lesson, are you trying to be like white people? No. If I'm trying to learn the blueprint, when I went to school, I learned business, I learned marketing and everything. And I learned it's not being white, it's knowing how to market. And we don't want to follow. The best way I can put it, like, how did they infiltrate hip hop? They started playing our game and said, "Oh, okay, let's do it this way, and we'll get inside." And that's how they got inside, corrupted it, and now hip hop is not what it's supposed to be anymore. And I said, you have to beat Ali. Muhammad Ali beat you he beat you before he even got in the ring because he studied you outside the ring, got in your head. And I said, that's what we got to do, but we don't want to do that because, like you said, we get businesses. Either if we got the business, we feel like, hey, this is my business. We get the worst freaking customer service. Let's just keep that real. We give the worst customer service. And on the
10
other
out
hand,
of 10. Worst customer service ever.
we give the worst customer service ever. Yeah, we are the goats of that. So I said we are the worst of all time when it comes to customer service. And as for patrons, like you said, we want discounts, we want freebies, we want all this stuff. And if we don't get it, we got this bad thing. Forget so and so. Da da da. We're ready to destroy their business. We are our worst enemy. Customer service is poor. It's poor.
Bosco, speaking of
Yeah.
customer service,
Hmm.
I
After
have
you switch.
some really good customer service. I'm
Hmm.
great. Listen, this is my self promotion, real quick. It's a commercial. I am going to offer you, my people, my African. We're not African American. We are no longer African American. I forgot. We are Black
No,
Americans.
we're Black Americans or Brown
Black
Americans.
Americans or Brown Americans. My Black and Brown American folk. Um,
Hmm.
Customer service thing. I just want to tell a little story. I called to pay unwanted debt today. But
Uh-huh.
I wanted to, I realized like this, I'm paying through a black owned business, a law firm
Yeah.
to be exact. I just want to say that
Yeah.
it's not my debt, but I'm in it.
Yeah.
Whatever, paying his debt, and I realized, they'll never send me. Unlike all the other businesses that are ran by
Hmm.
maybe white, black, whoever, but it ain't this black ass on law firm here.
Yeah.
And I called just to get some information on my debt. Like, well, how much do I? Oh, I don't even know how much. Oh, I can't even see it. I can click in on everything else. You know it.
Yeah.
Just this stuff is like at the palm of my hand in 2025.
Uh-huh.
But the guy, I hate calling because the guy that answers the phone, he is so annoying. Like I was called all professional, like I'm calling for this. He gonna ask me, "Is that all you want?"
Yeah.
I swear,
Dang.
it takes everything in me not to be like you fucking bitch. Like
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
feel me? Like I just don't like dealing.
Yeah.
I don't listen. I am 100% for the
Yeah.
support black business because I too am a black businesswoman and a owner.
Yeah.
So I understand support black. But what I'm saying is when them motherfuckers ignorant, treat them like you treat everybody else. I don't
Right.
care. Just stop only treating them like that and not treating everybody else like that. Cause you will just still go back to the other people, but you won't go back to Aunt Shirley's. You feel me? I ain't gonna use the real name, but you feel me? Like you won't go back and forth to that place because she ain't bad service and with a black ass or whatever. But you'll go back, keep going back to the other places and still support the same hair stores and all that shit. So just give your people that same energy. Is all I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna switch gears real quick. I think on this one I'm gonna probably start with Paul because Paul been kind of quiet and I'm loving his background. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Paul.
See you all bright and um This one, I kind of like this one, but I'm going to add something to it to give context. And I know I'm going out of order, Bosco, forgive me. Um,
I don't know where we are, man. Don't worry about it.
um, I'm trying to get the I'm trying to put the key ones that kind of go all together.
Oh,
Does colorism exist? I'm going to say yes. However, I want to give a clear distinction because before we start answering it, I think it's also important to distinguish there's a difference in colorism and featureism that gets
yes,
clearly intertwined and misconstrued,
yeah.
and people don't know the difference.
Mhm.
So I'll go last. Um, Paul look like he's stressed out.
I'm trying to get my medication right here.
Okay. Do
Of
you think
course,
colorism exists?
of course it does. I mean, as far as in my existence, it has always existed. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's from a different ethnic group or from within. It's always existed.
Yep. I
I'm not
agree.
even gonna say no more about it. I mean, that's all I can say about it. It's always existed.
Okay.
Not going nowhere.
Yeah, I agree.
And like you said, it's not like you said. It's not. Don't confuse it with featureism because it has nothing to do with your features. Because most people with light color or color still share the same features. So it's not nothing to do with that. So I'm gonna leave that alone. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
want to thank
it's
you.
been
I
in
want to thank you.
existence.
I want to take this time. I want to take this time though to thank you for calling me after I sent you a message today. I want to thank you for calling me. I
Oh, of
appreciate
course.
it.
So
Yes.
anytime.
Oh,
Of course, of course. Let me do something real quick before you go, Jude. Colorism. I just want to get a definition for those anybody listening. I can do both if y'all want. Colorism. Colorism is prejudice. I'm sorry, I hold prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group.
Yep.
Okay.
I was
Y'all,
just getting ready to say that.
y'all want me to do featureism? So we clear?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that was good.
Okay.
Okay. So for featureism, featureism is a form of discrimination that judges individuals based on the extent to which their physical features align with Eurocentric beauty standards, often leading to a preference for lighter skin, straighter hair, and other features associated with European descent. It can manifest as prejudice within racialized communities where certain features are valued or devalued based on their perceived proximity to these standards.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Who want? You want to go, Julie? You want me to go first? Go
I'm
next.
about to say at one point in time, exactly what I look like today would have been considered ugly. Brown skin and nappy
Hmm.
hair, like this. And uh, growing up, they used to glorify, the light skinned girls compared to like the
Hmm.
real dark skinned girls. And I had a friend who was like chocolate. And a lot of people used to make fun of her and call her all types of ugly or whatever. But growing up, she was the one who had like some of the cute boyfriends. And
Hmm.
all the boys liked her, like she had like flawless chocolate skin.
Yeah.
And she was like growing up, like you learned to uh like I grew up in a time where like they made it seem like because you had brown skin you wasn't pretty, or because you had darker skin you wasn't pretty. So I agree with Paul. It always existed. It has always been I mean, we know that because slavery. The brown they a black person ain't never told you you either been out you either been outside working in the field.
Hmm.
We used
Hmm.
to it's more happening to within our own people than it do,
Hmm.
outside for real. And it's crazy because the white people had us as slaves. They most definitely colorize us. But the way
Yeah.
we separate ourselves, nose too big. We get plastic surgeries now that completely change like how we look in and the natural curves. Or if you don't have natural curves, not everybody. It's just I don't know. Yeah, it's been there. It's been there. It's never going
Yeah.
anywhere. People start to appreciate the more darker brown skinned women now. Africa changed that though. They start in social media, the internet world, starting to see women in a different light. That it was a model. Did y'all see that picture of the model? This was years ago. She was real chocolate, but her skin was
Yeah.
like kind of glowing, and she had like
Yeah.
the prettiest smile, and her body was just.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was a guy too, and they were African, so I we could
Remind
like
me to
Africa,
speak on that.
huh?
Remind me
Oh,
to
okay,
speak on that when that's my go.
okay, all right. What, Africa or the
Those
them
two
and their
women.
ducks? Or oh yeah, cause I mean, then they for real. If you look at it, like the darker the skin, the more beautiful it look, and eventually everybody just had to start appreciating it. So I don't know. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
there,
I
but it don't matter.
Yeah. I grew up in the '70s, and I agree with you because coming up, I got picked on all the time. I got the name Bosco because of my color. Because I used to drink the chocolate syrup Bosco, and I did. I used to drink it like right out the bottle, no milk, just syrup right out the bottle. And Italian guy said, "Hey, Bosco," and he said, "Why?" I was like, "Why you call me that?" And he's like, and I was kid, I was like 12 years old. He's like, "'Cause I always see you drinking that Bosco." And he said, "You're such a calm kid." And see, the Bosco was the bear. That was the logo. And they used to call me Little Bear because I was quiet, but when I got mad, I basically tore up the city. So he called me that. But my friends called me Bosco because I was the darkest one. And then people didn't believe me when I said I got the name Bosco. This I'm still a kid. I'm still like 12, 13 years old. I said I got it from drinking it. No, no, you got because you black as hell. You black as hell. I got picked on all the time. Yeah, I mean I got picked on all the time, and like with the lips and stuff, like that same thing. And the, I mean, I didn't really see racism until I moved down here. I'm not gonna lie. When I was in New York, I saw it, but it wasn't. When I got here, is when I moved here the first time I got called nigga. In New York, we didn't use it coming up like that because if you said nigga when I was coming up, the OGs were like, "Hey, watch your mouth." Hey, that's what they did to us. So we didn't say it. People did say it, but we didn't say it. But with black people, especially the light skinned ones, they will always say we're ugly. And they were the main ones calling us monkeys because we were dark skinned. Our
Hmm.
own people were calling us monkeys. Talking about our lips, like, bitch, you black too. You just light skinned. And and even with the thing with the gorilla stuff, we don't, if you look at the features of a gorilla, we don't have those gorilla lips. We don't have lips like those are white people lips. Thin lips. Look, Google a picture of a gorilla or any type of monkeys, any type of primate. Look at their lips. Then look at white people. And I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm throwing it back. We don't have that. We don't. And with our people, and I'm just going to exclude white people from this because we talk about colorism. Coming up in New York, I got picked on like that. Then when I moved here, well, when I came and started visiting, people got on me like, "You talk like a white person." People, you talk like a white person because because the way I spoke. I said, "Nah." I said my mother told me I had to speak a certain way so people understand what I'm saying because I was black. Nah, nah, you acting white, and that's what I heard. You talking white? I'm like, you talking white? What are you talking about? Yeah. So you got featureism and you got colorism. You got them both. And we're just as guilty. That's why the running joke goes like light skinned people trying to make a comeback from the '80s. Because in the '80s, in the early '90s, light skinned people went in, and all of a sudden it started
Mhm.
slowly shifting. Now we in 2025, us dark people, we getting our love. But back then,
Mm-mm. Everybody want a Peter Rican.
Yeah, yeah. You said a Peter Rican. You mean Pekin Rican.
Before you go, Coco,
Pekin.
I want to say this here. Back in 1969, 70, Huntsville, Alabama,
Mm,
we lived on a street called TJ Street. There
My
was this,
street.
there was this beautiful, I mean, beautiful dark skinned girl. I know. I'm about 8 years old, so I know she had to be about 10 or maybe even 11, older than me. But back then we used to have that game to kick the can and to hide and go get it, spin the
Yeah,
bottle, all that stuff.
yeah,
I
yeah,
always had to chase down that chocolate, pretty young queen. I always had to chase her down. And I mean, she had just the softest lips for a kid. And I mean, you know, there, there has
And we found
never,
out she was your first chocolate love.
uh,
That was your
there
first
has,
chocolate love. You had a flashback.
there has never There has never been an issue with me about the color of my sisters. I mean, because I see them in all shades of them as being beautiful.
yeah,
I mean, that's
I'm
what I'm
with you.
saying. I realized that as a kid growing up.
Hmm.
It wasn't no, because they are lighter or nothing. No. I had brown skinned girls that stay right next door to me. We go there. I play house with them. Then I go to the street there and be with Kim and them, and we play kick the can and hide and go seek and go whatever, do all that
Yeah,
stuff and spin the bottle. And I mean,
Listen, man.
it was no favoritism, colorism, featureism, none of that. I love my sisters. Period. I still am like that. It's
yeah.
never. That's how come I say for me
Hey,
it's.
Coco. Hey, Coco. I knew chocolate girls was a threat from when I was in elementary school, right? I got my heart broken. Hear me out. She was my friend. She ended up being my friend. But I lived in the neighborhood, and the little boy stole his mother ring and gave it to me. And everybody, it was so cute. I was probably like in the third grade or something like that. And then the,
Yeah.
the little chocolate girl, I ain't gonna say her name, she moved up the street and made her end up being cool, but she was chocolate and he liked her. He took the ring from me and gave it to her.
Hey, one
Oh
for the
my
chocolate.
God.
One for the
I was
chocolate.
like, I was like, motherfuckers. I knew growing, I knew at an early age. Listen, they knew that they was a threat. I knew they was a threat. The darker, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. They said,
Exact. And you know
man.
what? Before you go, Coco, I got a situation. Same thing. Like my daughter's mother, she told me I like my men dark and ugly.
Listen, man.
And that's what she said. She said all the guys. She said no, you darker. I said what you mean by ugly? She said I call you ugly because see they think you're ugly. I see. So I call
They
you
do
dark
be
and
some
ugly.
dark, ugly motherfuckers, but their
Yeah.
skin be amazing. You be like,
Yeah, but
damn, this
see,
motherfucker
everybody was
skin.
calling me ugly. Like the dudes that she turned down, and some of the females were calling me ugly. So she said, I like. They would say I was black and ugly. So she said, I like my men dark and ugly. That's why she chose me because I was dark.
Coco, don't forget Africa. And when you finish, I got a question to ask you.
I'm
Okay.
in
So
between.
mine's gonna be a
I'm
little
not
bit deep
both.
and also educational
I'm
and,
left out.
and awareness. I first want to point out colorism and racism are two different things.
Yeah.
Um, to piggyback on Jude, I wish I would have known what I know now about dark skinned women. Um,
About what?
about dark skinned women
Dark
being
skin woman.
beautiful.
Oh, oh, oh.
I'm a little, just a little bit older than Jude. However, and I think we touched on this before up here. I definitely experienced colorism. When
Oh, yeah.
we talk about colorism, colorism is specifically against darker skinned women, or not. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Darker skinned people. Colorism happens in all cultures. It's not just
Yep.
the black
Yep.
culture.
Yep.
Any culture that has people of a darker skin,
Yep.
they experience colorism. So how deep this goes is anything associated with darkness is
Hmm.
considered devious, evil, just negative. Period. Think about
Yep.
it. Anything that's dark in color, it can be the color black, is associated with something derogatory or
Hmm.
negative, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
when you have the lighter people, light skinned people, especially coming up when I was young, they were supposed to be like the goddesses. They were the queens. They was look at how they made Nefertiti. Nefertiti ain't look nothing like that. You feel
Look
me?
at School Days. The movie School Days.
Right. So and I'm gonna take it further. So colorism hit so deep that when we were young coming up, even down to the dolls of what was deemed as pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't look like this doll or this billboard or who was on like the Michael Jackson videos or the
Yeah.
Diana Rosses or whoever, that went
Yep.
into it. So when we mix the colorism with featureism, we also gotta be, that's a fine line. But let me tell you how they correlate. And I'm gonna go back to, I'm gonna intertwine the African models into this one. When it comes to dark skinned women,
Mm-hmm.
who is deemed beautiful? She has features. This is where featureism comes in. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I was dark with a small nose, petite figure, pretty hair, or what they considered look mixed,
Yeah.
or curly hair, or all
Yep.
of this stuff, oh, she bad. She pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. She got
Again,
good hair.
right.
You know. Yeah.
Again, when I was young, I had thick hair all the way down my back, damn near to my butt,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still called nappy. It was still called
Mm-hmm.
ugly. I was still called all of these things. Even in our families,
Yep.
what's the first thing our parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, get your black
Brit-
ass over here, your little ugly ass. It was
Oh, your
always,
nappy. Get your nappy head ass over here.
it was always the dark
Yep.
skin child.
Black or nappy. One. Either one.
Get,
It was, oh,
get,
so
Yep.
especially get your black ass. Get your
we were
black ass
also
over
taught
here.
to accept that we were not good enough because of that. And the images that were stapled in our communities were that. So getting back to the African models, they were accepted, but who had to accept them first? In that culture of being a model attached to European clothing, European labels, all of it, they had to like pretty much put this image and say, oh, this is one of the beautiful, because when it always attached to something else to say, okay, now we can accept this. But let your neighbor look like that. And I see some beautiful dark skinned women. I think all of them pretty, especially if you got some beautiful skin, they still get called ugly because they aren't attached to something else. And unfortunately, even to this day, in a lot of our communities, the dark skinned women I don't think get enough credit. And then also, I'm gonna take it a step further. And before the guys cut me off, let me finish. Another thing that plays a part into this is I hear a lot of men say women don't accept themselves. Women, they want to be like this. They want to be like that. They want to be. Y'all want to look like something else. When you have your own community, including men, that prance around and idolize these images of what does not look like the women in their community, when they wife up what doesn't look like the women in their community, when they wish they had kids that doesn't look like a Jew, a me, or somebody like that, we're not good enough. But when you see a woman who may wear a weave or may wear whatever, all of a sudden she trying to be white. Ain't that who you go to? You also groomed her to do this. How often, and since we like to bring in social media, do we see on social media our men? I ain't talking about nobody shaking their ass. I ain't talking about nobody half naked or with something form fitting or anything like that. Well, how many times do you see a man even post a woman? It could be and just say she's beautiful that look like Jude, me, their parents, their sisters or whoever.
Remember the Home Depot girl?
You
Forgot about her.
yeah. So I'm just like it stems a lot deep, and I only say that coming from a standpoint of someone who experienced it. And unfortunately, colorism plays a part in every aspect of our life, even down to employment. We don't think it do, but it
Hmm.
does.
Yeah, dude.
Darker skinned people are least likely to get the job, unfortunately.
I swear to white Jesus, I gotta get my act together.
And many people think that that it doesn't, but it definitely do. There have been theories proven, the statistics show
What are you talking about? I missed it.
colorism. I just took it a little bit
Oh,
deeper.
okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay.
I just took it a little bit deeper, but I just
Okay.
wanted to be clear that
Hmm.
colorism specifically is via to the darker skin
Yep.
person
Yep.
being
Yep.
looked at and labeled negatively. So before you look at somebody that's dark skinned and you want to call them ugly, really look at them and then look at yourself because you probably the ugly one. That's all I hate to say.
Mhm.
Yeah. I used to get called nappy head, and you know what? The thing about it, my mother told me when she was combing all of our hair, my sister used to cry, my two brothers cried. I didn't, and my brother, my older brother, he was half Puerto Rican, so he had curly hair. He cried, and my little brother, my brother, other brother and sister, Dwelle, Ruth, they cried too. But with me, I sat there and took it, and she would say, "You see, he has the good graded hair," because see, they used to always call me nappy head.
Hmm.
She no, he got the good hair. That's why he's not crying. And after that, when people called me nappy head or whatever, it didn't bother me anymore. Because my mother would have said, "Tell them to come in here, let me put this comb through their hair." And I would tell them. My mother said, let her comb your hair. No, it's not, no. And she said, they saying that because they know you got good hair and they don't.
Oh! I forgot one thing.
Hmm.
When I was talking about the menses, listen, I did
Hmm.
want to mention one thing
Hmm.
when it comes to the colorism thing and how our community hate on the darker women. I'm gonna tell you, this is my personal
Here we
experience. I
go.
don't know about nobody else. What? I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, you know what I'm saying? Why? Because what you about to say, us dark skinned men went through the same thing. But go ahead.
Let me say it first.
Go ahead.
I just said from my personal experience. See, you
I
missed
know.
the whole spill that
No, I heard.
that I did
No.
about what feeds into. I'm just talking from myself as in colorism, which is true. But when it comes to the admiration of the darker woman, honestly, it's usually not black men that compliment that one woman that looks natural. It's other cultures of people, and not even just men. People, women, men, old people, elder, all that of different cultures. And I can say that from experience. All my life has always, like, even if it was bullshit, given me a compliment. The most derogatory statements, again, which goes into colorism, comes from your own community of people.
I don't know, cause I get a lot of compliments from black men when I'm in like my natural state. I feel like I get a lot of compliments from a lot of you know today. I feel like in today's age it's still there, but it's not as bad as it was. They do. I feel like everybody do appreciate the darker skinned people a little more because I'm fairly, I'm dark, but I'm not as dark as some. Like you ever see somebody this like, and it's crazy because it seems like the skin be so dark. It's not even really. That's the
Mhm.
definition of black. People really be having black skin. Like I'm not black.
Mhm.
I'm a shade of brown, but like to see somebody with like actual like black skin, like and it's like smooth. It's like the skin glisten different. You ever see the sun hit it? And like the
Hmm.
way it glisten, it's like how it glisten on Twilight when the sun hit the vampire. That's how that shit hit their skin. It's so beautiful. You feel me? It don't even matter if they
I just
are
seen a young
ugly,
lady
man.
like
It's
that
beautiful.
probably a couple of weeks ago, and the least thing that woman was to. I mean, what I saw when I say flawless, she was well put together. As far as like her appearance,
Yeah.
flawless. The comments were less than that, and it was. I didn't think, but because she was dark, plus she was called ugly.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, and I feel like the darker the person is, and I know men go through it too. Just because a person is dark doesn't mean that they're ugly.
No, it's not.
And
No.
unfortunately, we have this stigma just because someone is dark skinned or darker than dark and have all of these like and have what's considered, I guess, African features, the big nose, big lips, they're deemed as ugly if you have them all intertwined. I that bothers. I mean, for my personal reasons, it bothers me.
It used to
It's
be like
because, like I said,
motherland me, please. I
I've
want
been a
African
victim of
stuff.
colorism since I was little, so it's a little different for me, like experiencing it like head on. Then when you see it, it's like,
Man, I don't know why people think that big nose and big lips and big foreheads are only a dark skin or African feature. I got cousins, two light
mm,
skinned cousins. I mean, light skinned cousins that look like this. Big nose, big forehead. You feel me? Like that's a feature. That's how you know you black. And I know it's about the darker skin, but people act real funny towards the real lighter skin people too with them same features. Like how you were just saying. Like I don't know why. Like people are people. Like I don't give a damn what you look like.
mm-hmm,
You want to hear something funny?
What?
I didn't get complimented from a black girl until I was 18 years old.
For
Up
real?
until then, up until then, I was called ugly, monkey. I was called all types of names.
No,
Swear to
they've been
God.
telling you they've been telling you you've been cute your whole life because
Yeah.
that's what they
Good.
know. They
Well,
call
I
you.
swear to you,
Remember how
I
they
didn't get
used to
my
say?
first. Hmm
They
I
used
didn't
to
get
say
my
the
first.
girls that pick
Okay.
with you was the girls that
Yeah.
liked you.
Mhm. Probably, but
Okay.
I swear
Okay,
that's
before
the
you
first
go.
time I got a compliment, and that was in Germany when it happened, and she was half and half.
Oh, it
That was
wasn't
the
even
first
American.
time. Yeah, that was the first time. That's why I always say, and any man will tell you, they will always remember the first compliment they received from a girl. That was the first time I got a compliment, and it shocked me because I didn't know she was talking to me. That was the first time,
Hmm.
man, I remember
and I
somebody
didn't get
told me
another
like
Before
one
you
one
go,
until
Coco.
black.
Before you go, Coco. I want to let Bosco finish, but before you go,
oh, no, I was done.
before you go, okay, before you go, Coco, I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta remember,
Mm-mm, go.
I'm a few generations ahead of y'all. A few generations ahead of y'all. So I grew up in the time of James Brown singing "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud," watching the Motown Review on TV, or going to segregated schools where black was all I seen. Many shades of black, beautiful black. That's all I seen as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So the colorism and the favoritism that y'all are talking about and experiencing, I didn't experience that. That's why I don't feel the way I do now. I still feel the same way I grew up. I see all shades of my black women, people, men, everybody is beautiful. You know, that's just the way God made us. I done grew up all over the world, from Huntsville, Alabama to El Paso, Texas to Karlsruhe, West Germany, back to Asheville, North Carolina. I've seen various types of people, various shades of black people in various places. I never thought one was better than the other. I mean, I just thought, hey, we all here together. That's us,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So yeah, I look at things a whole lot different than y'all, but I'm trying to feel what y'all talking about with this colorism because I see it, but I just can't really feel it. It's hard. It's
I
hard,
think
but I see
perspectives
it.
is different when you experience it. Like Bosco experience may be different. You know what I mean? From like mine, because he's a male, and I think his is during a different time period. But it's there.
Hmm
I
Oh,
see
it's
It's
there.
all.
Yeah,
and
I
it,
see
and,
during
and
my
it was
time. I
really
seen always catching up.
I
Whether they was dark, whether they was light, or whether they was in the middle like me, whatever in the middle brown. I mean, I seen it where we all caught here because
okay.
I'm not dark and I'm not light. So I'm saying our spirits were all of us caught here. It didn't make no difference if we is a dark skinned person walking down alongside that road, or we is a light skinned black person walking down alongside that road. If we walking down alongside that road and it's getting dark, you can guarantee one of them white folks is gonna throw something at us out of the back of one of them trucks. It didn't matter how dark your skin was.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, it's just hard.
And look,
But
I'm
I
from the
think
I see
generation where
nowadays,
even
baby,
though they
light
want us
skin,
to care, we ain't care.
yeah.
We it just
I
was the
think it.
light
I
skin,
think it
dark
is.
skin.
I think it is different for like some things change. Like now, some like back then you can see it, but it's very much still alive. Um,
It's a virus
but
now.
I don't like.
Hmm.
How messy do I want to get?
It's a virus now.
What
Oh.
I don't like is that instead of us highlighting certain negativities in our community, and this is probably changing the topic, but it kind of coincides. Like even like things like that, even though like we talk about it and do things, and I know y'all hear me sit up time. Instead of highlighting all the negative and thinking, okay, I'm a da 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 da. How about highlight the positives in our community that make us stronger? You know what I mean? Because I feel like we know we have crime, we know we have all of these things. Yeah, we can talk about it be better, but when we highlight these things, I feel like it keeps the narrative going, but it also helps fuel it when they instead of okay, do the flip side of it because we had some positive like okay, like we were just saying like let's say we post Jude, natural, beautiful woman, right? Instead of saying oh people hate that we look like this, how about do this with a great caption of how pretty she is, beautiful she is. And you don't have to point out she's fully clothed. She ain't doing, you know what I mean? She's not
Hmm.
doing this, but certain things I feel like we don't highlight the positives in our community enough. And then what we highlight, that's what the rest of the world will see already because we don't highlight ourselves in our best light.
You
But you
know,
always
I
bring up the topic of, what can we do to be better? And I think that's one of it. I mean, like for me, I don't like post like fight videos stuff like that because I feel like we better than that. I would rather post or
Hmm.
talk about us in the best light that we can possibly be. Like just look, we just had somebody from Australia. Do you really? I mean, if they knew nothing about the community, do we really want to just because we have some greatness in our communities as well?
You know, I do feel like people are. That's where like the Black Girls Rock came from, and more
Hmm.
women giving each other, more flowers. In our community, besides the colorism, is more so the man woman war. But when it comes to like the bro code, the men backing each other, that's why it's the war against the women, and the women backing each other, regardless of what class of woman that it
Hmm.
is. Because you got the younger women who doing their thing, which is ain't no different than what they were doing back in the day. Just now we got social media, so
Right.
it looked worse. And you got like the more grown, mature, women who on a different, it just depends on what woman you get. But on the terms of colorism, it's always been the light skin, dark skin war, regardless
Hmm.
if it was man or woman. It was even, light skin growing up, the light skin boys was prettier and the light skinned girls were prettier, you feel me? But then now, you feel me? And then it was a point in time where it was like all dark skin, everybody wanted like chocolate, chocolate. Now I kind of think it's getting to the point where it's kind of like just a preference thing because
Mm-hmm.
it was too many other things that I'm not going to go into, but it was too many other factors besides if you was light skinned and dark skinned. It was more like what's your preference and what you like and how do you identify and a whole bunch of other stuff that besides just now you being light skinned and dark skinned. Now people got all these other people realizing their standards. They're not
Hmm.
just settling for anything, it's how much you make. Where you
Hmm.
Hmm.
only ain't gotta work. It's just how much you make and how much money you got. But then you meet a different kind of woman. It don't matter if she light skinned or dark skinned. How
Mm-hmm.
much you make, where you work, how long you been at your job, what's your credit score, you feel me, who you live with, where you live at, like, come on.
When I was overseas, it's changed. It used to be where they looked at us black people as freaking animals because that's the way America portrayed us. But I noticed when I was over there, it had changed to where, and even I still talk to a lot of my friends over there, a lot of my DJ friends. They know what's up. They know. They know that we. I'll just say it. They know we ain't do this shit. They know we're not the way we portrayed. They do know about how some people are, but they know how we're portrayed. But I agree. We should promote more positivity. Because there are those who still don't believe it. And you don't want to give them the you don't want to give them any power to where they can say, see how they are. They act like animals. So we still have people over here who call us animals. I'm in a lot of threads where people call us animals, thugs, and everything else. You know, so we still got people over here that way. So I think you're right. We do need to promote us more in a more better light. You know, I totally agree.
Bosco, according to social media, we are the only country who divide people by color.
Yep.
Yep,
Everybody else,
we are.
even though, I did grow up learning some things about, some other countries, because I find myself more saying, like, 'cause remember when they used to say, like, the Asians used to had a little thingy with, they had black people next to monkeys. It
Hmm.
was like a display or something, and that was the only
Hmm.
one I can really remember right now. But
Hmm.
over time, now you find out, they idolize, our culture. You,
Hmm.
just like we idolize theirs. So you feel
Mm-hmm.
me? Like no bull crap in a lot of ways. The
Hmm.
more you start to learn things, you find out how a lot of cultures are intertwined and built up off each other.
Yeah.
But we are supposedly like the only country that divides you by black, white, this,
Hmm.
that. They were saying like they only describe themselves as like what was
Where you
it?
from?
Yeah,
Let's say
like I'm
yeah, where you
American.
from?
Like
Yeah, that's it.
I'm American or whatever, and it's
Hmm.
not by like, oh, I'm black and then I'm
Yep.
from Detroit or nothing like that. Like I
Mm-mm.
don't know. That's an
It's
Americanized
true.
thing.
It's true. 'Cause when I was in Germany, I was over there 6 years. Never got called nigga. They didn't call me Black American. Well, they called me GI. It was AGI. Because they knew I was in the military. So it's AGI. But outside, if I went in uniform, yeah, American. They didn't look at it that way. We are the
Right.
only ones that divide us that way. We are the only ones. It's a shame.
I mean, that's the American way, I guess. That's
Mhm.
what I mean.
When
That's the only thing I can say
That's the
about it. That's like,
plantation
what.
way, boss. That's the plantation way.
I
Yes.
mean, for real, it's the American way. That's the only. That's the way everybody was taught. Unless they gonna start teaching something different, and the more we trying to teach something different, everybody come for our necks every time. Every single time we try
yep,
to do something different, and history has shown every time we try to build. What
yep,
was it? The Tulsa, Oklahoma
yeah,
bombing.
19,
Wasn't that when they bombed the
1927,
city? You feel me?
1920.
Um, and then so you would go through stuff like that. We go through slavery. I'm talking about black people. Um, go through slavery, all that, and then now we supposed to be united as we go through so many trials and tribulations. I mean, the country that went to war within everything. You feel me? Like so many things we didn't 9/11 happened on my lifetime. I'm just thinking about like all the things we've
Yeah.
been through. But here it is in 2025. And this might be off topic.
No, you going in
We
the right direction.
we are still dealing with
Racial divide.
are we black racial divide, women's rights. It's like we keep repeating history all over again. But
Over
but
again.
then but then once again, just to take one step further, we just in 2025 we just keep back and forth beefing with the people that we are allegedly we are here for in the first place, the Africans. We
Mhm.
are beefing with the motherland itself. That I know I have so support that
Yeah.
president's movement from South Africa. I so support it, but um, I still stand strong. I gotta stand behind my word. I can't back down on this. But anyway, f them. Um,
Right.
yeah, man,
Um,
that's all I got to say. I don't got nothing else
can
to
I read?
say.
I'm sorry. Can I read
Nothing
this
to
one
say.
comment? I'm gonna skip
I'm with you,
one.
Jude.
I'm not going to give one the light right now, but I did want to read this one. It says not only an American thing, we have major issues here between European cultures and the indigenous recon, reconcil, reconciling somehow. They're in Australia.
What's that
Right.
again? I didn't catch the very end. Say it again.
The comment was not only an American thing. We have major issues here between European culture and the indigenous
Yeah.
reconciling somehow.
Yeah, my
Mm.
brother told me that 'cause he was over there at the yeah. When he got the
I'm gonna have to
military, he
look
left
into
them
that
over there.
because I don't really know anything about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he told
listen,
me about that.
but
I mean,
in
I think that goes
history,
to show. I think we think that we have like. I mean, we could say like we watch if you watch the like world news, all countries have their issues with like
Hmm.
division, um, and like wars or whatever. We see it all the time. That's but we only see what's highlighted. We don't see like everybody had their own little things going on. So it's almost like that.
first of all, the
Um,
news only going to tell you what they want you to know,
that part.
and 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 one thing I know that well, any type of divide is like is considered like a not in a technical term but like a war. War and conflict has always been a thing. Without it, you feel me, there is no money being made. That's what I'm learning.
Right.
That's some crazy thing about government. So you gotta have like some kind of divide. You gotta have some people that think they are more superior to another. I
Hmm.
think that's even like how it was in the Bible, I guess. Uh somebody thought they was more superior than the next. I ain't too biblical right now, but anyway. Um, but when it comes to like race, when you as a people thinking that you are, better because you are well, I'm black, so I'm better because I'm black, or I'm white because I'm better, because I'm white. At the end of the day, we're American.
Hmm.
Like them over
Yeah.
there, regardless of if you're uh European or indigenous, if you're indigenous and you're uh and European at the same time, y'all just all Europeans.
Hmm.
Like we're all it don't
Because
matter when you
when
come
that
to
outfit gonna
America.
label us as American, they not looking at anything less,
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
than
because
that.
when I go to America, I mean, if we go over to Europe, we're not black Americans. I don't even think that's
Right.
on their stuff over there. That's what
How
I
come,
don't even think like the race is on it on any of their things over there.
how
Is
come
it?
we didn't, how come you didn't talk about Trump bringing these white folks over here to America? How
Hmm.
come we didn't talk about that?
You talking about
Well, they
What
brought black
the
people.
hell are you bringing
no
these
no
white
no.
people over here for?
We're gonna say that right. He only brought the headline was they were from
What
South
the
Africa, but he no pause. So even in Africa, they do have, I guess, Caucasian Africans, if you want to say that. So those were the only
Wasn't
ones
it the
that
French
he
that
allowed.
colonized them?
hell?
The,
Those are still white folks over there, European white folks, whatever you want to call them. They the same all over the world. Just like they say we the same all over the world. They the
this
same
was
all
the,
over the world.
this was the
Come
headline.
on, don't do that. Come
No,
on
I'm
now.
telling you what the headline was. The headline
Yeah,
was
they call them
they
Afrikaners. They say white
no, that's what the
Afrikaners.
headline said. It said
Yeah,
yeah,
but the headlines also say what?
what?
White Afrikaners from South Africa that are being discriminated against.
Yeah.
They not y'all. How they
They
been
not being put
discriminated?
out.
Y'all been over there taking them people's land and property for all these years. They didn't got tired, y'all. Y'all see what Barroso saying over there. I can't get it. I can never get
I
that
can't
right.
get his name either. The president.
But y'all see what he's saying over
He
there,
said America is
and
having
y'all know
a
it's time to go.
crisis.
And Trump gonna get them over
I
here and
kind of
put them
agree with
on welfare, get them on some bitcoins or whatnot he got going on, and get paid off of them. And
I
they
thought
gonna
he was
pay.
getting rid of welfare. How you gonna put them on welfare if he getting rid of
that.
them?
Yeah, he
They
getting rid of
gonna they
Medicaid,
gonna be
everything.
They gonna be on Bitcoin, on Trump coin, whatever the hell kind of coin they got. They gonna be on
Well, we
that.
ain't gonna have no coins soon.
Yeah,
Shut.
for real.
We're running out of time.
It's gonna be
Next
called
week,
the big one.
well, I want to say it was two new people that commented on YouTube. First of all, I want to thank you. I don't know where Travis is from. He said, "Let me come and talk to y'all." Travis, to be here every Wednesday from 8 to 10, I will kindly drop you the link. If you are here next week, we welcome all, even if your view is different. It's okay. Um, but I do think America is having an identity crisis right now. I do agree with that.
Hello.
100%. Um, all is welcome to come up. So I thank you for your comment and participation. I hope I say this name right. Lug Nuts, our Australian. Thank you for joining, even though we popped up in your algorithm. Um, so I'm glad we popped up in the algorithm. So we do thank you. We're open to everyone, but I would like to dive into next week the ports. There were some topics that we didn't discuss tonight. Whatever happens between now and Wednesday, I guess we can play it by ear because we'll never stay on one topic. So to those of you who are new, I guess I'm gonna take the next like minute or so watching or listening. We like to dive into current events, mainly events that affect our communities, how we can affect us as a people. As you said, we're all Americans, where we're headed, like regardless of what happens in the world, it affects us all. Um, so we like to talk about those things, be constructive. Perspective is okay. We don't always disagree. Sometimes we be at each other and each other, but we all come together. So that's our high point of the conversation. We like to have fun. It gets deep. It be fun.
Rivers Nation.
What is it called? Financial literacy, business, all of that stuff. But next week, I definitely would like to talk about like the ports, the tariffs, where that's headed. Look like we're making a little bit of progress on one. I'm happy about that, a little bit. But we can dive into it some more because I know more things are going to come. Um, debt. A lot of people get ready to get into more debt. Some other things. So anything that you guys can think of, hit me up. We can talk
That
about
ain't
it.
always a bad thing, friend. You
What debt?
need, yeah, that ain't always a bad thing. Listen, just get into positive that we're talking about that. I make sure we talk about that. Let's get into some
Yeah.
positive that.
Of course, they're gonna cut back on the tariffs now since he done hopped in the bed. Vaselinas with the Qatar people. They get ready to rape him. They gonna make his wing piece fall all to hell.
You know who ain't budget though? You know who ain't budget? That
Yeah.
goddamn president over there, the one that was like, I'm taking back all my stuff. We taking back our land, taking back the gold, all that. We
Listen,
kicking y'all out.
it's a listen. This is crazy time, but this is a time we really all need to really come together and figure this shit out. But um, I don't know where Bosco is. So I guess I gotta be Bosco tonight.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to look this church up.
First of
Talk
all,
about
again,
Christianity.
let's pray for Bosco. Bosco,
I heard it.
is going through radiation. So we're gonna keep him uplifted in prayer while he's going through this at this time. So I'm glad he did come in and chop in for tonight. Also, congratulations to Paul on your new apartment.
Thank you. Thank
Kudos
you.
to you. Um,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
thank you to Fallon. Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Quentin. Thank you, India. Who else was on here? Keone, a couple of people.
Didn't I see
J Bear, he always in here.
Morena?
Yeah, Marina. If I forgot you, I apologize, but we always thank you guys. Um, bless one of. Um, yeah, thank you guys for participating. Hopefully, we'll see you guys next week. And we'll have more. And hopefully, I'm not as congested in my voice and I'm not coughing and I'm back to normal. But we love everyone. And God willing, we see you next week.
We still got still got a whole 60 seconds.
Whole two
Oh,
minutes.
what y'all want to say?
I
I
say
just want to say
9:59. 9:50. I
that.
mean 1:59. 11 to go. That's fine. 1 hour. That was 1 hour 59. 16.
Listen. Um,
Can we talk
I,
about Yeah, we can talk about
I was, I was,
Christianity.
I was going to get into. We don't got enough time for that. Yes, I love talking about talking to the Christians. If we gonna talk about the Christians, we definitely going to talk about Christianity. We had to talk about a few things because Jesus was the Pisces. Like, nah.
I haven't heard of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. No.
I just pulled it up. I just pulled up so I can look it up. I think I seen
Okay.
something about something on this, but I don't really I don't know.
That may be a topic next week, Jay, because there's still some stuff coming up. We ain't get to do it. That was on the agenda tonight, but we ain't get to go there. I ain't want to throw it off too much. It's a lot going on. We got a lot of content and a lot of things to discuss. Um, yeah.
Oh, I know what you
Yo.
can. I know what you can. I know what you can say.
What?
Um, Ravens Nation.
Ain't no
This
way.
our
Let's go
season. This
Patriots.
our season. Let's go Ravens. We got this. We in there.
Hold up. Where Bosco at? Because he ain't shut out the Knicks.
Mm-mm. F the Knicks. F the
Nick
Knicks.
got beat.
What's your
That's what
what's
they
your
called
what's
it.
your what's your team for? What's your team?
Knicks got blew out.
The Knicks got blew out.
They got blew
Yeah,
out?
they got blew. Yeah.
Girl?
I'm back. What's up? What happened? What's up?
No, we
We
said you ain't shut out the Knicks before we left.
you
Oh,
know
nah, they just lost,
Baltimore
but
Ravens.
we know
They
the
just
Knicks
lost?
lost. Yeah, but we are 3-2 going back to New York. It's
Oh,
all
okay.
good. Boston coming to New York to die, man. I ain't worried about it.
All right, back.
Damn,
We're gonna put the
damn.
Miranda,
Timberland.
you already know Patriots all the way.
We're gonna put the Timberland in their ass when they get to New York.
No, baby. This is
They dead
Ravens
ass.
Nation, Marina.
Dead
Ravens
ass,
Nation. That's
son.
all
She
right.
know what
That's all
she's
right.
They
talking
Y'all
about.
dead ass,
already know what it
son.
is. Purple Fridays. Get ready for your Purple Fridays. Get ready. Quarterback in the league, best team in the league. Just to be honest, but y'all made the brag. You know what? I got just. You know what? You.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in.
My whole team gonna have on concussions on this year.
We love y'all. Thank you. See y'all next
Everybody
week.
on Miami.